Hi there. I'm so excited to explain how this works and let's get right to it. So I built this button, it's Webscraper and setup. What this does is install automatic update, meaning once you run this, only then the table will be, like automatically refreshed. Stop automatic update, like when you stop when you don't want it to update anymore, you just click here. And data, clear data, what that does is it clears all the numeric values, not exactly numeric values, but like all the values in column C, E, you know. And then populate data, what that is it attempts to fill the entire sheet in one go. Okay. So let's just start with setup. So this is the first time you are trying to run this script. So you go to setup and say install automatic update. When you do that, this is a one-time action. This only requires the first time. It requires the authorization of your Google account to run the tool. So you just need to grant the authorization. And to do that, you need to click on advanced here and go to web scraper. Uh, and then it will ask for all the necessary permissions and you can click on allow. Okay, so once you do that, the script is finished. Okay, so now let me show you where the script is. The script is on tools, script editor. So this is where the actual code is. So if you are copying this to another sheet, you just need to copy the entire code.js. You can just do a control A and control C. And then you also need to copy the parser.js. So to create a new file over here, you need to do file, new, and script file. Okay. So this is a script file. So you create file, new, script file in the actual file that you're trying to use, and then put in here parser and then click on OK. So I'll just do a test parser and OK. So what that will do is it will create another one of these, and then you can just copy the entire thing from here into here, right? So these are the two files that you will need. Let me just delete this. Okay, so code.js and parser.js. Don't worry about parser.js. Parser.js is nothing but just a fetch application, but the actual action happens on code.js, and this is where I've made it really easy for you to configure stuff. Sheet name is import XML. Like if ever this name changes, you can come over here and change that name. Number of rows to process, as you might have guessed, this is the number of rows to process in one go, and how often you want this script to run. So right now it is set to 1 minute, so the script will run every minute, right? Now all these are like the spreadsheet configuration, so I'll just try and explain anyhow. Starting row is 2, meaning the data on this sheet starts from 2, so our tool really start to work from row number 2. And I put it there because sometimes if you're using a different spreadsheet, it's just easier to change it this way. You just change it over here and the changes are happening automatically everywhere else. So starting column is 1, number of URL in row is 4, meaning in one row there are 4 URLs to do. And first URL column starts with column number 2. First URL column starts with row number 2, and column increment is 2, meaning where the next URL is. So it's 2, then after 2 columns there is the next one. Row of processing row, what it is it is the location of this value. Like, if you want to put this value somewhere else, then I'll just change this thing. So row of processing row is 1, meaning it is on the first row, and column of processing row is 11, right? So 11 meaning the column number is 11 over here, right? So if you want to put this value somewhere else, then you can just change this over here. Okay, so that is all you need to know, and don't want to bother you with the blah blah blahs, but it's awesome. Okay, so I guess you already know you go to data and clear data. So I'll just run this script once. So that just clears all the thing from here, and then data and populate data. Oh yeah, there's another thing that I wanted to show you while this is running. Uh, when I do install from here, like when I did web scraper and uh, did the first run, what actually happens is it creates a trigger. All right, so I'll just go to current project triggers. So what that does is, so this is the trigger that it creates when you click on install uh, thing. And what that does is it just creates a trigger. I'll just show you what the trigger is. So, if you want to change how often you want to like run the script, you can do so directly from here too. Okay. So, this is actually time driven and it is minutes timer and every minute. But if you want to change that, like a daily timer or monthly timer, or you want to change on a particular event from a spreadsheet, like for example, when you edit your spreadsheet, so this is the actual trigger. I did it programmatically, so you don't need to worry about it. But there are two ways of changing. That is the only thing that I want to show you. That there are two ways of changing this update minutes. So this is one, right? And you can set it to 5, 10, 15, or 30 minutes. Uh, or you can also change how you want this function to run from here, right? So how you get there is you go to edit and then you do current project triggers. Okay, so let me get back to this, and oh, it's still running. Okay, this will also give us an idea of how much time it takes. So I'll let it do the run. In the meanwhile, okay, I think that is pretty much it. So please feel free to test it out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the authorization from here. So it will not update automatically anymore after I have sent you this video. So you'll need to go to that web scraper and set up and then start that automatic thing like I showed you in the beginning of this video. Once you do that, then okay, this happened from the trigger. This did not happen from here. So right now two things are going on. The trigger is working to get the data, and also this script is running. So when two things happen at once, that is when there are chances of a timeout error. But let's see, fingers crossed. I mean, most of the time it runs perfectly. There might be an error sometime to fill the entire data at once. In that case, you just I guess reader. Okay, finished script. Great. So you see, it filled out the entire sheet in that much time. Okay, so that is it. Cheers.